Yo, what's up guys, it's me, Jedi. Today we're going to look at the top 10 things that you could do to be smarter. So, let's get into it. Alright, so as always, we're going to go straight for the throat on the first point right away, that's how we do things here. Number one, smartphones. So, a lot of you guys have social media. A lot of you guys follow your friends on social media. You guys follow a lot of like meme pages, comedy pages. Don't lie, you know you do. Anyway, so when you're taking breaks from actually doing stuff that's actually productive, like for example, if you're working or you're doing something, exercising, you take a break and you go on Instagram. For example, I'm gonna use Instagram because I do that a lot. So you go on Instagram and you scroll through posts and you see your friends and they say, oh, I'm at Disneyland, I'm at here, I'm at there, oh my god, life is so cool, wow, look at my breakfast. So you're scrolling through, liking and commenting, oh my god, that's so cool, you eat breakfast, I eat breakfast too. You're doing all that great stuff, cool, but what do you get? You don't gain any knowledge. So you want to be smarter? Yeah, it's kind of hard, but you got to actually take the steps to be smarter. So maybe you might want to start following like news pages, journals. So you want to start following things like, for example, TED Talks. Great. You want to start following pages that actually educate you in something that would actually help you in the future. So if you want to, like, let's just say, for example, you're really into science, maybe you should start following NASA. Start following some science pages, and then maybe slowly start removing the comedy and meme pages out of your following list. That way, so your feed is more filled with the smart, like the things that are actually productive, and the things that are actually going to help you build your knowledge. So yeah, that's number one. And probably the best thing to do is probably just put away social media altogether and just use apps like Twitter, where you can just follow specifically, and that way you know exactly just in news. So, but if you're not into giving it up right away, I get it. Just following following these news channels and following all these different journalism and all that stuff, that's gonna really help you slowly make that next step into gaining more knowledge, and slowly making that step into completely changing your social media outputs into something that actually gives you knowledge. Number two is to write down everything you learn. So it doesn't have to be long. I'm not asking you to sit down and write 3 books a day, but when you're writing stuff, write things that are concise, write things that are good, write things that are going to help you, write things that are conceptual, things that you might be able to recall in the future when someone asks you a question. So when you write things down, of course, like I said in the note-taking video, if you guys haven't watched that yet, make sure you guys go watch it. I might put in the iCard right there, so if it pops up right now, yeah, so then go click on it. If not, then I'll leave it in the description, or you guys know where to find it. Just go to my channel, put take better notes, and boom, it'll be there. But anyway, so note-taking skills, super important, and that plays into here. So when you want to get smarter, you use your note-taking skills that you learned by watching my other video in daily life. So when you learn stuff, you write it down. So if we're going to tie number 1 and 2, anything that you get off that social media platform, you learn it, you write it down into a small journal. And even if you don't want to write it down, if you want to type it, that's fine too. So you just type it down, and you type a couple facts that you just learned about it, and you just jot that down, and then later you come visit it and you see what it is, and that way you get more exposure to it, and it actually sticks with you. So then, being smarter isn't an overnight thing. So you do that more and more and more things are going to stick to you. Not everything's going to stick, okay? Let me just get that out here. So you writing everything down doesn't mean everything's going to stick. You're not going to have you're not going to be you're not going to be like a memory chip just taking in all that data. It's going to be kind of slow in the beginning, but as you do it more and more, practice makes perfect. Taking better note-taking skills makes you smarter. Number 3 is to make a did list. Yes, you heard it. I didn't just mess up by saying do list, but make a did list. So kind of like a to-do list, with a to-do list, I'm gonna do this, that. Make a did list. I did that, I did this, I did that. How does that help you? You're probably asking dude, I don't care, how do you know I did it? But when you write it down, you're actually writing it down, so you could physically see that you did that. So now you know your accomplishments of what you did. And what does that help you with? It gives you more exposure. It's all about exposure. It gives you more exposure to what you did. You start gaining more knowledge. You start relating. For example, if let's just say point number 3 is, today I worked out in the gym and I did dumbbells. Great. You remember that, of course. Someone asks you, what did you do in the gym today? You're going to say dumbbells. Are you going to remember that 5 years from now? No. If you write it down, can you look at it 5 years from now? The chances are really high. And if you write it down, are you gonna get more exposure? Yeah. So it's like you're just getting more exposure. So there's a 100% chance you're gonna have a better chance of remembering it now that you have double exposure rather than when you just had one exposure by actually doing the activity. So now you're basically doing the activity twice. So let's just say you're lifting dumbbells in the gym. Great. Now you know that. But when you write it down, you're writing it down as I lifted dumbbells in the gym. So then now you know that you lifted the dumbbells in the gym. So that the next time that you go back to the gym, you know that you lifted these dumbbells, and you want to like the weights and stuff too. Like you got to be really specific, right? So when you do all that, then you know, okay, this is what I did last time. This is what I'm doing now. This is my progress. I did these weights, and then you start making connections with your head. You're like, okay, that day the gym was horrible. I hated it. It was sore. I couldn't do it. Now you know that you're actually doing a lot better job, so you can actually make comparisons, and that's how you get smarter, just by getting more exposure and just recalling information. Number 4, yes, get out the Scrabble board. Yeah, playing Scrabble and playing other games that are like super like word games. Like for example, when you're on your phones and you want to play a game, and if you're bored, maybe instead of playing games like PUBG, which is a really popular game that I hear a lot, and Fortnite and all that stuff, you know, that I'm sure that takes up space on your phone too. But you know, maybe slowly veer off that and go into games like Wordscape, or games that require you to form words, form sentences, fill in blanks. Scrabble's a great game because you're gonna be making words, and then you're basically learning new words because you're doing it on Scrabble and you're playing a game with it. So you're gonna have way more exposure to it, and it's kind of like this. So then when you might be thinking, okay, man, I'm gonna be playing a game. How is that gonna help me remember it? Think about it. Pick a game that you like the most right now. Okay, in your head, pick it. Magic trick. No, I'm just kidding. But pick a game. All right. Okay. If it's a first-person shooter or one of those shooter games where you have friends, do you remember who was on your team the last time you played? 90% of you guys watching, you said yes. You know it. It's probably your friend, probably some guy that you played with. You probably know his username, something like that. You know at least one person who played on your squad, right? Yeah. Now, if you played a game that is like, for example, like a strategic game, like Candy Crush, right? You remember your highest score? I'm sure you remember your best score. If you played good enough, if you played a lot, I'm sure you know your highest score. Why? Because you play that game so much, you have so much exposure to it, you have fun. So when you're having fun, you get that connection, and then you remember things. So when you play word games, same thing happens. You start making words. You know that these words exist now, so you start using them in your vocabulary, and then that's how you build your vocabulary. And building your vocabulary is the first step, and it's like one of the beginning steps to build knowledge. Number 5 is having smart friends. Okay, this is a no-brainer. If you're gonna hang out with a bunch of guys who sound and act like they have not been to kindergarten to 5th grade, like they don't know how to form sentences on grammar, how do you think you're gonna end up? You're gonna sound like that too. So how do you fix that? You hang out with people who are smart, people who know knowledge. Why? You hang out with people who know, like for example, I love examples here, so we're gonna go with another example. All of us has that one friend, that one doofus friend, that one friend that always messes around, like it's never serious, always just wants to mess around, have fun, and like he doesn't have the best grammar, and we all have that in our friend group, right? Yeah? No? Some of you guys don't? I'm sorry to break it to you. If that's you who says that I don't have that person in my friend group, it's probably you. So it's okay. I'm here. Let's fix this. So think about that one person, okay? And if it's you, I'm really sorry, but think about the times that you did this. So then think about that person, and they make some stupid mistakes and they do stupid stuff, right? So while they're doing all that, you're basically like watching them do it, and they're your friend, so you get full exposure to it, right? Exposure, key word in this entire thing. So you get exposure to it. Now, are you gonna remember what your friend did? Or are you going to remember what your parents or your spouse told you like once a week ago? Or like your friends? Of course your friends. Why? Because you spend more time with your friends. You have more fun with your friends. So you have more exposure. Like that game thing. So if your friends have such a great influence in the fact that they literally influence everything that you think about. Or most of the things that you think about. Then why not just change them? I mean, you could probably still be friends with that guy. But you might want to slowly start, dropping him. And then let's just say you got a really smart friend. We all have a smart friend, And this doesn't apply to the fact where you're like, oh man, I don't have a smartphone, maybe I'm the one. Yeah, I mean, it could be you, but if it is you, then that's great. Then why are you watching this video? But if it's not you, then think about that guy, that really smart guy. When you listen to him, you actually like listening to him, huh? Like, okay, I'm not talking about those nerd type guys who just like bore you, but I'm talking about the guys who are like actually intellectual and they actually like provide you good information. When you talk to those people, you know, like you can feel their presence, like you actually want to be around them. Think about that guy. You think he just woke up one day and he just became Einstein? No, it's all about knowledge. So when you hang out with guys like that, and when you hang out with girls like that, then you start developing more knowledge because you get more exposure. So getting more exposure to friends, games, and all that stuff really helps build your knowledge. Number 6 is one that it's there, but this actually, I'm gonna give you guys both the pros and the cons for this. So number 6 is reading a lot. Yeah, I understand, you know. So the reason I'm giving you guys pros and cons for this and not for the other ones is because I personally am not a big reader. I would much rather watch videos, get information through lectures, rather than sit there and read like articles where like with like words that I don't even understand. So I'm gonna give you guys my pros and cons. I'm just gonna put my opinion out there. That way you guys don't think that I'm too biased for one side. I'm pretty biased towards the con side, but still, I'm gonna give you guys both sides. So we'll look at the pros first. Okay, reading a lot. Yes, of course, you're reading. You get vocabulary. You get a lot of intellect. It's great. You're putting in extra effort because you're reading and you're like in your mind, you're making like images, so you're actually making your mind work, blah blah, all that great stuff, right? Cool. Set it all aside. Now we go to the cons. How many of you guys actually? I'm sure there's some of you guys who do this, but how many of you guys think you can actually sit down for 4 hours straight, shut down everything, and read a book straight? Not that many of you guys, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not practical, man. Like, come on. Like, no one wants to do that anymore. Like, people don't multitask anymore. But how many of you guys would do that for social media? You guys are probably already doing that right now because YouTube's a social media platform anyway. So if you're binge on your other videos and you're watching this and you've been doing it for 4 hours, yeah, it's not that hard, right? Because you're just watching videos. Why is that? Because your mind doesn't have to do any work. You're already watching videos and you're gaining knowledge. And if you're on Instagram, you're just scrolling through pictures and you're just looking and your mind doesn't have to do any work. So you just, boom, it's like a photographic memory thing. And you just like, boom, it just goes into your head and you know exactly what's there. That's how it like helps you. That's my take on it. So I think that's the only con because with reading, you got to put more effort into it. So yes, it does help, but it's also kind of like boring. So no one actually wants to do it. So, and then now, come on, technology, man. If you're still like a reader, like I'm not trying to be mean to you. Like, sure, you guys are great. I mean, a lot of like great praises to you for reading. But man, 2020, we literally have like AI stuff on our TVs now, dude. You can just throw on a headset and you just jump into a different world. Like, come on, no one still actually reads books. If you do, remember, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but I'm just saying generally. But yeah, I guess reading books. Number 7 is to explain it to others. So just like the note-taking one, a lot of these things are gonna be like kind of interconnected, but pretty much explaining to others. You know, like I said before in the other video, if you didn't listen, I'm gonna give you guys a quick gist. So explaining to others, when you tell somebody else, I'm sure you guys have heard this a lot, but when you explain things to others, you're telling them, so you gotta know it first. So when you're telling it to them, you need to have a really good understanding for you to explain it to somebody else. So then by doing that, you're already getting the understanding. And when you're telling them, you're getting other exposure. So you're getting more and more and more exposures. That way, you are basically just increasing your chances of retaining that information. So yeah. Number 8, this might sound kind of different, but just doing random new things. Like, honestly, anything. Ice skating, figure skating, anything. Like, anything you want to do. Anything you can think of, randomly just start doing new things. Because when you start doing new things and you get into it, let's just say, for example, if I do only one thing, I'm only going to get knowledge in that one thing. If I do 2 things, I'm only going to get knowledge in those 2 things. But if I do 10 different things, and let's just say I only like 5 or 6 of them, or I'll just say, okay, we'll be really like fair, and we'll say only like 4 of them. That's still a lot better than only getting 2 new things. So, you don't want to look at like 40% and 100%. You want to look at more like 4 things that I'm learning versus 2 things that I'm learning. So definitely just try different new things. You're gonna like learn. You're gonna definitely like some of them. You're not gonna hate all of them. So then when you try new things, you're gonna like some of them. And when you do like some of them, you're gonna definitely want to get like more knowledge from that. So when you do that, you get more knowledge and you get more exposure. So yeah. Number 9 is to just learn a new language. When you learn a new language, you kind of have to connect your own language first to the other language, and then you gotta like learn a completely different like language. So you're basically just completely switching what you usually say into something else. So you gotta translate, and you're just really working your brain. It's just like working out your brain, and that way you also, and by doing that, you guys guessed it, you get more exposure to your own language by translating back and forth. And by learning a different language, then you start learning more vocab in that, and now you're smarter and you know a new language. So yeah, definitely go try out, guys, to learn a new language. There are a lot of apps that you can just download and just do it. Number 10 is just to relax. There's like a common one that I say in all of them. Just relax, just be calm, just chill, meditate, lie down, close your eyes, think of nothing, think of something happy that happened to you. I say this all the time, super important. I really hope you guys are doing this every day, at least like 30 seconds, just sitting there and just doing nothing and just like closing your eyes and just looking up, just like what I'm doing right now, and just like relaxing everything. Like, dude, I'm sure one day we're gonna make like a meditation, like specific video just for that, just to emphasize. But yeah, just doing that can relax so much, because you're basically like going into sleep mode when you're not in sleep mode. So you're just relaxing your entire body, and you're like consciously doing it. So you're basically just like giving yourself some cheap sleep time. So it's super important. Do it. Doing it, like, the thing with that is you can do it for as long as you want, and if you just fall asleep, that's great. Maybe you needed the sleep anyway. That's a good test. You do it for like 2 to 3 minutes, and if you fall asleep, you needed that sleep anyway. So yeah, yeah, guys. Other than that, make sure you guys
like the video, share the video, and subscribe.
Yeah, make sure you guys do that. Also follow me on Instagram, and this video is kind of long, so sorry about that. But I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video.